I'm Brian Coker. I'm the production greenhouse manager here at Franklin Park Conservatory. We are in one of our bays of our production greenhouses, and we are working on some exciting stuff for this summer. All the animals that we have picked for our display this year are related to UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And that's what drove us to pick camels, marine iguanas, seahorses, bison, so think Yellowstone, think Galapagos Islands, think the Middle East. This is one of our seahorses, and it is completely designed, constructed, built, imagined, planted, grown, everything in-house by our staff. Right now we are in the process of stuffing them all. We use a long fibered sphagnum moss as the growing medium in all of our topiaries. We will actually plant the plants into this moss, and they will grow quite well and flourish throughout the summer months here at the conservatory. So all the topiaries will be planted with live plants, and we try when we can to mimic the actual colors and textures of the animals, but not all of them. You know, for example, blue flowers are hard to come by for our peacocks, so we will use a plant material that we know works really, really well in those environments and covers well and holds up well and still gets the point across. The areas around the animal topiaries will also be planted to mimic their home environments. Like we were doing a marine iguana, which would be from the Galapagos Islands, and the areas around it and underneath it will be planted to mimic rocks, though they'll all be plants, and the colors and those kind of things. The bison will be planted to look more like the plains, and the seahorses, the coral reefs.
I am Alexis Lorenzen. I work here at Franklin Park Conservatory as a horticulturalist, and right now we are working on planting our topiaries for this summer's Topiary Takeover. Since the previous time have taken plugs of different plants that are representing colors of these different animals that we're planting, and we have planted them, and over the next couple months they're allowed to grow here in the greenhouse, expand more. We're going to be trimming them and pinning them to kind of fill in the shape of the animal. And as they grow, you'll come in to Franklin Park in the summer, and you'll be able to see well thriving plants in these topiaries. They'll be pretty much covering all the sphagnum moss, so you won't be able to really see the moss.
It's early April, and our topiaries are coming along very, very well, and we're really working on the finishing touches right now. As you can see, most of them have been planted, and the plants are growing, which is a good thing. And so now we start working on the areas that we want to offer more detail. So we do a lot of sculpting and molding on their faces and around their eyes. We use it's an epoxy, a two-part epoxy sculpting clay. And you mix it together, and you have about 30 to 40 minutes of working time to do the molding on the faces and the eyes. So this face, his nose and mouth have already been done, and there's some foil on here. We're getting ready to do the eyes, and the foil basically just keeps the moss underneath from sucking all the moisture out of our molding material. For animals that are close to actual size, we use a taxidermy eye to make them more lifelike. For those animals that are, overscale, like the seahorses and the marine iguana and our fish, we have the gaffers in our hot shop actually make glass eyes for us, which is a really cool thing, we think. And because all of our topiaries are planted with live plants and the plants grow all the time, we have to do a certain amount of maintenance to keep things looking neat and tidy. So we'll use these little pins, these floral pins, and we can move plant material around and just kind of pin it down so it covers areas that are not necessarily full and covered with plant material. And we'll also do some simple trimming with scissors just to cut stuff back, to keep it looking nice and tidy. And also when you cut it back like that, it encourages lateral branching and growth, so they come in fuller and thicker. We're really excited about this exhibit this summer, so please come and see our wonderful topiaries here at the conservatory.